Camel's Artist Gouache. Now, is it really a good set for beginners? Before you go running to buy it, watch what I found about it. Hi, I'm Dr. Shazia, your paint buddy. And if you're looking for secret art tips, fun painting demos, and brutally honest art supply reviews, then stop scrolling and welcome to Conversations with Canvas. Today on my desk is the Camel's Artist Gouache set. Now, I'll be breaking down the good, the bad, and the ugly so you can decide if this is actually worth buying, especially if you're a beginner. Kicking off the review by breaking down the packaging, this gouache set comes in a cardboard box which is quite sturdy. The color swatches are on the back of the box, but these are basically representational and they are not the actual color swatches. Inside the cardboard box, the paint tubes are placed on a plastic casing. Now, the paint tubes are made up of plastic. I personally prefer the plastic ones instead of the metal ones as I feel it's much easier to squeeze out the last bit of the color. Also, the label on the tube mentions clearly the details about the paint, like its opacity, its pigment strength, and the pigments present inside it, which is a great thing. So, for me, the packaging gets 4 stars. I got the 12 color set with 9 ml tubes. Now, there's also a 24 color option available again with 9 ml tubes. Now, Camel's gouache colors do not come as individual colors. You can only buy sets, and also there aren't any larger sizes available. So replacing just one shade isn't possible. Now this definitely is a limitation that I see. This 12 color set is priced at 390 Indian rupees and the 24 color set costs around 890 Indian rupees. So this puts the Camel Artist Gouache in a very affordable range compared to the other gouache brands. I personally felt the price to be pretty reasonable, especially for a beginner who wants to try out this medium using artist quality colors. It's time now to check out the colors in the set. Now I have swatched the colors on a black and white paper to check their vibrancy and their opacity. Now the opacity of each paint is already mentioned on the label. Like here it says that these yellows are transparent. So there are two yellows over here. That's lemon yellow and chrome yellow. There's crimson lake as a red, mauve, cobalt teal, cobalt blue hue, Prussian blue, phthalo green, yellow ochre, burnt sienna, titanium white and black. Now there are transparent and semi-transparent colors, though the box says that they are all opaque colors. Now to check their consistency, their layering and blending capacity, I'll be painting this still life. I'm painting on my watercolor paper sketchbook and sketching using the Faber-Castell Aqua Graphite pencils. Now these pencils work just like watercolor pencils. I've done a thorough review with the techniques that you could use while with these pencils. Now if you like to add a lot of drama to your sketches and a bit of that watercolor effect, do check out my video. I will be sharing the link in the description. Now one of the main reasons why I love to sketch with these pencils is that they are so damn easy to erase. All you need is a little water, there is no need of any eraser, and you have the mistakes cleared off. It's time now to have some fun with these colors. I like to use gouache paints in layers, which is something very similar to how I paint with oils. I'll be basically laying down some washes to block in the colors. This block-in stage I feel is very essential because it helps me cover up all the whites of the paper, and also it is a great way to know where to place which color and how much I have to modify in the later stages. For this block-in layer, I have diluted the paints with water, and here you can see the colors aren't looking washed out or dull, but instead they do look quite vibrant, which I'm really loving. With the colors all blocked in, I am now defining the form with values. The paints are still diluted, that is, I'm still using diluted form of paint, but now I'm using lesser water. The paints in actual have a very nice creamy consistency and they can be used directly if you're going in just for one layer. But I just feel if you use a damper brush, it will give a much smoother flow. The paints are quite easy to blend, as you can see, with the lower layers. But if you do not want too much of activation or you don't want it to blend with the previous layer, in that case you just let one layer dry completely, which takes around a few minutes, and then you can paint over it with the next layer, so you have the minimum blending taking place over here. As you can see that I have taken a few artistic liberties, especially with the choice of colors. And if you want to know how you can make your paintings look different from the reference photo and how you can make the right color choices to make your painting look better than the photograph, my video on stop copying from photos is quite a helpful thing. Now getting back to the Camel Artist Gouache colors, I'm now going in with a new layer, which is I'm going to be using the undiluted paints. The undiluted paints have a lovely creamy consistency and it beautifully glides over the paper. Now you could paint with these gouache paints in two ways. That is, you could use the multiple layer technique as I'm painting here, or you could even go with a single layer, that is paint everything in one layer like the alla prima layer. Now with the layering technique, you can slowly build up the opacity and the richness, especially if you're using the more transparent shades like the yellows. And now if you go alla prima, that is working wet and direct, the paints still move pretty nicely and stay workable without turning muddy. So finally, it's time to know how good are these Camel Artist Gouache paints for a beginner. The packaging is decent, the price affordable, and the color range is quite good. The creamy consistency is easy to handle and the vibrancy really stands out once the paint dries. And now the downside. Right now these colors aren't available as individual tubes, not even the titanium white. So if you run out of even one shade, you have to repurchase the whole set. Also, a few colors in this set are transparent, so you need to build them up in layers to get that solid opaque gouache look. But they compensate that with their vibrancy. So honestly, my opinion, for a beginner who wants to explore gouache and start painting with an artist range without spending a lot, the Camel Artist Gouache set is a great choice. And that, my art pals, is my in-depth look at the Camel Artist Gouache set. Tell me in the comments what I should review next. Take care, keep creating, and I'll see you for more art magic on Conversations with Canvas. Bye.